My very own Dark Angel. I need to clean it up a little bit, like the blood on the sword, but I think I did a pretty cool job with the color scheme. You might think, oh, it's a Heresy Dark Angel, but just with Primaris armor. No, that wasn't really the intention. What it's supposed to be, if you look close enough, you can actually tell, this camera's pretty bad, but you can actually tell it's an extremely dark green, specifically Dark Angel's contrast. Dark Angel contrast, specifically. I know he does kind of look like if you somehow combined the Dark Angels with the Death Company from the Blood Angels. He doesn't really look fully Dark Angel, but I think he looks really cool. I need to clean him up a little bit, like the gun detailing needs to be done a bit better. I might want to... I keep doing many different attempts to make the blood on the sword look right. I want to add some blood on his sword, but I can't quite get it to look exactly how I want. So I'm just going to probably paint over that. With this camera you can't tell how messy certain areas are, like the shoulder pad is quite messy, his eyes are very messy. His chest actually looks a lot better than I remembered it, but it is still a bit messy if you look closely enough. And on his helmet is obviously quite messy. This is, in terms of painting details, this is probably one of the best models I've ever done. I've never painted details this well before. That's not really a thing to brag about though, because it looks extremely messy. But I like it, like the silver, the sort of grey silver metallic colour is nice. I need to paint over parts of that, as you can see. You know, get back the Caliban green. If you look close enough, you won't be able to tell with this camera, but if you look close enough, in the joints, I actually painted that Abaddon black, the Abaddon black base paint. You can't quite tell because it's actually very weirdly close to the Dark Angel's green. Dark Angel's green is extremely dark. You can only really tell it's even green in very, very certain lighting. But if you look up at like the shoulder pad, you can just barely tell. Or like down at his body there, you can barely tell. But yeah, and this is actually the coolest thing about this, even though it looks really messy, is that this was my first ever attempt at painting a Dark Angel. Of course, I need to improve upon the gun. The gun actually looks absolutely cancerous at the moment. And the blood on the sword looks terrible, and certain other details look very messy. Like if you look closely at that looks quite messy, and the optic lenses don't look the best, and the helmet. But I really like what I've done so far. And the best thing about this, I already said, this was my first ever attempt at painting a Dark Angel, and I love it so far. I absolutely love this Dark Angel's contrast. I'm definitely going to use it again in the future. If you did want a list of all my paints I used on this so far, I will put that in the comments. Alright, well, if anyone's watching this, thank you for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed this vid. Bye-bye.